low sodium recipe for you guys. Today, I don't know if you can see them, but guess what we're going to do? We're going to do fried green tomatoes. Now, I know there's a saying out there that the salt is what makes it, but I'm going to tell you, this one, you're not going to miss it. It's going to tingle your taste buds, okay? So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this tonight. First thing we want to do is get everything all measured out, and I've got it pretty much set up here. We need 1 egg, lightly beaten, okay? And then also we're going to need some buttermilk. Now this is what I have made my own buttermilk, okay? The reason I have done this is because it's less salt in milk and lemon than it is in regular buttermilk. So I recommend that you do that. What you can do is now I have done a 1/2 cup of milk with a 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice. You let that sit about 5 or 10 minutes and you're gonna begin to see some curdling. Now there's a little bit in here and I don't know if you can see it or not, but it'll look like it's curdled. That means it's ready. It's been sitting here a little bit while I was getting everything set up. All right, and then what we're gonna have is a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour divided. 1/4 cup will go in one shallow dish. The other 1/4 cup is gonna go in this shallow dish along with I'm gonna make a look at my notes here, 1/2 cup of cornmeal. And the thing you wanna make sure you're doing with your cornmeal is you get regular cornmeal. Don't get the mix. The mix is gonna have salt in it. This regular cornmeal has no sodium. So I've got this plain yellow cornmeal. And so just make sure when you're shopping for it that you are using just the cornmeal, okay? Don't use the mix. All right, now next thing we've got in here is a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm gonna go ahead, I don't know if you can see this, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of mix this up just a little bit. And those of you that have made fried green tomatoes before, you know this is all normal stuff here. This is nothing unusual. Basically, you're gonna do your flour, your egg mixture with the buttermilk, and then you're gonna dredge it in this cornmeal. All right, then we've got our egg here. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in. I've got the buttermilk. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that into here. And while I was getting this prepped up, I went ahead and sliced up their tomatoes. And I don't know if you've noticed, but all green tomatoes are not created equal. So I'm gonna show you here what I'm talking about. See, I've got this size, and then there's this size, and these I picked myself off a tomato vine. Not mine, I had to borrow somebody's because I can't seem to grow a tomato. And then there's this size. So the reason I'm pointing this out to you is because all green tomatoes are not created equal, as I said. I have found 3, and you'll want 3 tomatoes, good sized ones, okay? I'm basically going to use a pound of tomatoes. And what you do, so you would take a pound of this size, or a pound, if you had different sizes, just make sure you've got a pound, okay? And we're gonna set those over here. Don't get ahead of myself here. All right, and we've got all of that out there now. This is the difference. In this little container, I have, let me make sure I'm telling you correctly, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I've got 3/4 teaspoon of cayenne. You can put a little more, a little less if you want to, according to your taste. Now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move some of this out of the way so you can see, because it's gonna need to go over here anyway. In the meantime, I'm also gonna get my cast iron skillet. Of course, you can just use any skillet you have, but I like the cast iron for these. Excuse my back, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and be getting this warmed up. All right, now, this is what we're gonna do a little different. Normally, you would put salt on at this point. What we're gonna do today, and I'm gonna try to be real tidy, and we're gonna sprinkle the seasoning all over these tomatoes, okay? And I'm gonna try not to sneeze. Now, what I like to do at this point is kind of take my finger and kind of smoosh it in there a little bit. That's a word, right? Smoosh. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is get this seasoning into the tomato. Check my pan here. Turn them over. We're going to put some on the other side as well. Now, you can do this ahead of time so that it kind of sinks more into your tomato, but we're kind of in a little hurry tonight. I'm going to pour a little bit of this in. We may end up with some more, pouring some more. You don't want to have too much oil. I'm going to add a little more of that. Okay. We're going to continue with our seasoning here. Now, I did try a test recipe with some brown sugar in this mix, and we decided we didn't like that one as well. But if you like a little sweeter, you could certainly add in a little bit of brown sugar with it. It did add flavor. It would just, I don't know, wasn't our favorite. It didn't get highest ratings. Notice we did not use any salt. Now, tomatoes have salt already in them. Also, an egg does. I was real surprised. 60, 67 milligrams, something like that. Okay, we've got these all ready to go. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, there we go. All right. Let's see here. Now, what we're going to do, and we may need to move the camera over this way. And then I've got the buttermilk, egg mixture, and then we've got the cornmeal. I'm going to test my flour, though. I'm going to test my flour, big grief. Test my oil with a little bit of flour. Let's see. Oh, see, we're not quite ready yet. We're getting there though. What we want it to do is bubble really good. So we'll let that warm up some more. In the meantime, I have this nice handy scale. You can go and get one if you want to, but this is kind of important. This is going to help you know how many slices you're going to be able to serve someone when they're trying to stay within so many milligrams, okay? You can use the old Weight Watcher kind too if you want, whatever kind of scale you've got. I'm going to turn this on. And then we put my container, and then I bring it to 0. Now, what we're shooting for here is 4 to 5 ounces. Okay, so there's 3.6. There's 5.1, just a little over. Now I would say if you want to, because again, these are not exactly, you know, all the same size. I would recommend that you, say this is 5, this is 6. I would recommend on these size that you do maybe 2.5 slices to stay within that milligram count that you want to keep. But that's a way you can be exact, all right? Because again, remember, tomatoes are not always the same size. And we are getting there, I hope. What you definitely also want to have in your arsenal before you start is a baking sheet or some kind of pan with the paper towels in the bottom and then the rack. That's basically so that your tomatoes will stay crispy and they won't get all soggy on the bottom, okay? Let's check this again. I'm just gonna steal a little from here. Ooh, see, did you see how that did that? Now we're ready. I know that, you know, there's this thing out there so you can measure it and all this kind of stuff. This is the way I measure it. This is the way I can tell whether the oil is ready or not. So we're gonna go ahead and start this. Just get them dredged really good. And then in the buttermilk, if I can hold them with my fingers. And then finish off in the cornmeal. Kind of pat that in there real good. All right, let's see. Ooh, look at that, yummy. Okay, perfect. Now, you gotta watch it so that it doesn't get too hot on you. It gets hot on me. All right, and basically you just continue to do this same thing, assembly line. Don't fill your pan too much. Again, those of you that have made these before, and we're just doing a low sodium version, you know you don't want to crowd your pan. You kind of want them golden brown on one side, generally a couple minutes. Might take a little longer. You know, it's not an exact science here. I'm gonna do about 3 is what I put in mine. We're just gonna let those cook a minute. While these are cooking, I do have a sauce recipe if you'd like to use it. And I'm gonna go ahead and I have everything already in this bowl, but I'll read it to you. I have 2 tablespoons of buttermilk that I just pulled from what I made. I also have 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise and 2 tablespoons of sour cream. And it's supposed to have fresh, but I could not find fresh. So generally it's 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh dill. Well, I've got about a half a tablespoon here, okay? So because I just didn't want it to be too much dill. And we're just gonna mix it up. Now, of course, you can put a little heat in this if you want to with some cayenne pepper or red pepper flakes. You can add some onion powder if you'd like. Biggest thing you want to avoid is that salt, but you're not gonna need it. Now, if you put 2 tablespoons, you drizzle 2 tablespoons across your, or on the side, your green tomatoes, you're gonna be under, you got 189 for the fried green tomatoes and 43 for the sauce here. So you're what? Just a little over 200 milligrams. Well within that 500 milligram level, if that's your level. Now, you know, whatever your doctor says, but maybe you'll have to avoid the sauce. But anyway, it's a good way to get a little seasoning on there. Now we're gonna go back and check these things. And I am gonna, I'm gonna turn this down, this puppy down just a little bit. I'm gonna take it off the heat just a little bit. They don't look bad though. Okay, so we have all of the tomatoes fried, and don't they look wonderful? Now here is the finishing touch. When you're all finished with everything, I have taken a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and I've put it in the pestle and put it in the mortar and pestle, and we're gonna, if I can get it off, we're gonna take and we're gonna put a little of this. We're gonna distribute it amongst all of them. And you guys forgive me, I'm gonna use my fingers because I can do this a little better with my fingers. All right, so we're not putting that 1/4 teaspoon on just one. We're putting it on all 9 slices, okay? That way you're still gonna get that little bit of salty flavor without all of the milligrams. So you're not missing anything. Okay, so let's take one of these. And we're gonna do, remember, well, we could have 2, of course. Let's go ahead and get 2. Let's make it right. So we've got 2. We're gonna drizzle a little of the sauce over the top. You, of course, can put it on the side if you want. Remember, we could have 2 tablespoons. So you're not missing anything here. Put a little bit there. Okay. All right. Doesn't that look good? Okay. Fried green tomatoes. Lower sodium fried green tomatoes. Let's give it a taste. Ooh, I hear the crunch. Ooh, they're hot, steamy. All right, guys. Here we go. Got my little sauce on there. See if I can do this without making a mess. Oh, yeah. You're gonna like these. Got a little bite of cayenne, the dill from the sauce, got the onion powder. It's good. You're gonna like it. You're not gonna miss it. There we go. Beautiful. Fried green tomatoes. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up and ring the bell and be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Y'all see y'all later. Love, Mama.